So up first, it is going to be double lift annex special from the North American team taking on the Garena All-Stars, Xiaoyi and Mistake, followed by the Chinese LPL All-Stars, Wei Zhao and Zhao Zhao, dueling the Korean OGN champions All-Stars, Prey and Madlife.
And then it's time for the junglers to rumble and test their talents 1v1. So kicking it off in North America is St. Vicious battling the Korean OGN champions Insect, followed by China's Troll taking on Europe's Diamond.
And then after today's skill competition matches wrap up, it's time for the All-Star Team Tournament. The battles begin with Scara and the North American LCS All-Stars taking on Messiah and the Chinese League of Legends Pro League squad. And in today's second matchup, it's Madlife and the Korean OGN champions versus Alex Each and the European LCS All-Stars.
In addition to the all to the League of Legends action during All-Star Weekend, we'll also be bringing you the world debut of the amazing new videos.
So over the next 3 days, we'll premiere the return of the Stick Figure Spotlight, plus Teemo versus Lee Sin, and more.
And now that you got a handle on all the amazing that's going down during this All-Star Weekend, let's take a tour of the Shanghai Grand Stage and meet everyone who will be guiding you through this 3-day event. Hello, everybody. Let's send it over to Shox, who's standing by to reveal some incredible All-Star hardware.
Thank you very much, Riv. Now, I'm Evie Shox supporter, and I am here on the main stage, where I'm standing by the gaming stations. Now, these gaming terminals, are custom designed for the League of Legends All-Stars, and they hold all the gear that our players are going to need to put on a peak performance this weekend. And one of the absolute highlights of this stage must be the 10 meters high monoliths here behind me. Now let me explain what they do real quick. During Champion Select, they will toggle the 112 available champions until one of them is locked in. Now when the draft is completed, the player and the champion he's going with, will be displayed on the monoliths behind them for all of the audience to see. They are so awesome, and you know, I actually want to get them back to Cologne once the show is over. But for now, let's go over to Joe in the interview lounge.
Thanks, Shox. I'm Joe Miller, and I'm here at the interview lounge, where all weekend long we'll be hanging out with the All-Star players and getting their take on this amazing All-Star event. Now, let's send it down to Freak, who's standing by at Replay Central.
Thanks, Joe. I'm David Freak Turley, and I'm here at Replay Central, where we're going to break down all the amazing plays, the Smite steals, the Nexus crushes, everything that tells you who won and why. Of course, we're not the only broadcast crew here. We've got China and Korea broadcasting in their native languages and to the stadium at large. It's going to be an amazing weekend, so I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. Now let's take a closer look at the All-Star Team Tournament bracket. In the first round, it's the North American LCS squad taking on the Chinese LPL All-Stars, and the Korean OGN champions taking on the European LCS All-Stars in a best-of-3 series.
So the winner of the North American versus China match will advance to take on the Garena All-Stars during day 2 of our broadcast. The losers, they're going to move down into the second round match up against the losers of the Korean OGN champions versus the European LCS All-Stars.
And the winner of that second round series will play the victor of Korea and Europe during the second semifinal match, with a trip to the League of Legends All-Star Championship match on the line.
And the team that wins this weekend's All-Star Tournament Championship will walk away with more than just the All-Star title. They'll earn their region a first-round bye and an extra spot in the 2013 World Playoffs and some Alienware PCs. But wait, there's more. The 3 teams that join the Garena All-Stars in the semifinals will also earn their spot in a top-seeded team bye in the Season 3 World Playoffs. And that bye is huge advantage because it means they don't have to play in the group stage.
And while those first round buys will be big for the region's top teams, it's the extra spot in the tournament that will have the biggest effect on the World Playoffs.
And the important thing to remember about this tournament is that 5th place and 1st place are really the only 2 spots that matter,
right,
since it's the bye or the extra slot in the championship. And, you know, these leagues are also competitive that it will really matter. Korea and North America in particular have 4 different teams represented. So these guys will really not only be playing for their regions, but they're playing for their own chance at the World Finals.
And of course, all weekend long, you can go to lolesports.com. You can vote for the team that you think will bring home the All-Star Team title. Plus, you'll also be able to check out our exclusive behind-the-scenes photos, watch all the teams via the VODs, and keep everything up to date of what is going on here in Shanghai. It's going to be a great weekend, guys. Don't forget, lolesports.com.
And after you're done checking out the site, hit us up on Twitter and ask us pretty much anything, because during this All-Star weekend, if you've got a question for any of your favorite LCS casters, or players, drop us a line at LOL Esports on Twitter. Use the hashtag AllStar, and we'll do our best to answer as many of your questions as we can.
And coming up later today, the North American LCS All-Stars will be making their debut against the Chinese LPL squad in the first All-Star Team tournament matchup.
And now for more North American LCS Team and All-Star Weekend, let's send it over to Freak and Joe over at the interview lounge.
Thanks very much, D-Man. Right now, we're happy to be joined by North American All-Star top laner, Dyrus. Dyrus, you're coming in here. It's a really, really big weekend for you. What does the All-Star Weekend mean to you?
It means a lot because we definitely have a lot to prove, and if we pull off a win, it'll be massive because it'll just like up the NA scene as a whole.
So you guys have obviously done a lot of training. You've been staying in the Curse Mansion to get everything, you know, nailed down and ready for this tournament. How's that gone for you so far? I mean, who have you been training against? How has it been going in terms of results?
Right now, we've all got along, and it feels like we're cheating because we have a coach and an analyst and a TV to look at. I've never seen so much preparation for any match of my entire career. Like, we never prepared this much for a match, and when you have an analysis and you have replays and you have a coach, like, it really, really does feel like you have 7 people on your team, and problems get fixed right away. Even though there was a short amount of time to practice, it was very, very efficient practice.
What was the sort of best thing about playing with a sort of, so you normally play with Team Solo Mid, what was sort of the best thing about playing with a sort of all-star squad of new players?
Everyone, after the first game, everyone just knows what to do. Like Saint said before, if he says go to Dragon, everyone just knows what to do. You don't really have to explain through them. We all are very, very good players in NA, and there's less time used, and everything just goes so smoothly. We can explore things, what works strong growth for our team, what team comms, some strong player picks for each player, and it's good.
Your first game is going to be against the Chinese LPL All-Stars. Now, they've got somewhat of a different mix to you guys. They've got 3 players from Team WE and 2 players from IG. Do you think that gives them an advantage, or is that maybe even a disadvantage having 2 almost half teams in there?
It's kind of both because they've been practicing for 2 weeks plus, and I know WE and IG have some conflicts with each other, so there might be some internal conflicts if something goes wrong. So maybe we're hoping for that to backfire on them. But as a strength, we all can speak English, they all can speak Chinese, and there's Koreans. Then the European team is going to have some language barriers. So, there's some advantages and disadvantages all around.
So moving past the China match as well, how do you think you're going to do throughout the entire weekend? What's your prediction for finish?
Wow. I'm just going to go with the favorites because, it's China, Korea, Europe, and then us. That's the favorites, but we're looking for an upset. But other than that, that's what I would predict.
So coming up next, we've got the skill matchups. Now, you already played your first round game. You unfortunately lost that one. Talk us through it. And it's a completely different mindset, of course, than playing in a 5v5 game. What are your thoughts and what are the primary targets going into a game like that?
1 versus 1, you don't even have to blue pill, and you can pick whatever champion you want. You can just shove up the lane, push up tower, start with a Doran's item. You don't go for the late game. There's 100 CS, first kill, first tower. You could probably go Heimer. I went Soraka versus Kennen. You should probably ban Kennen in that because it's pretty OP. And it's pretty ridiculous. And by playing that map, it's like a fresh breath of air. It's a different game. And I feel like a lot of people are going to enjoy it.
All right, Dyrus, thank you very much for your time, and of course, good luck to you in your matches throughout the weekend. Guys, let's head back over to the desk with Riv, D-Man, and Jat.
Thank you very much, Freak. And the fans continuing to pour into the Shanghai Stadium and the grand stage. We're just moments away from officially kicking off the 2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend. And then it's time for the best dual lanes on Earth to fight it out in the 2v2 skills competition. The 2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend live from Shanghai, China. We'll be right back.
joined by European LCS All-Star mid laner Alex Ich. Alex, the first question I want to ask you is how confident are you coming into this matchup?
So we're pretty confident about this matchup. I would say that Korean is one of the hardest, if not the hardest opponent, but still I think that our team is good, and I really like Sauce and Yellow Pit, and I got to my teammates, so I think that we can do it.
So the European team has got one distinct disadvantage that all the other regions don't have, which is not one single player in the team, not one single one of you guys is speaking their mother tongue in-game. Obviously, we've got 3 Russians in there, we've got 1 German and 1 Frenchman. How is that? How does that work out for you?
So I think that we all are speaking English, and it's fine because in the game you need only basics like go, kill, and I think that the only problem that at least I have, sometimes I can't understand what Sauce is saying because his French English is really hard for me.
So then how has been practicing with the team? How's practicing with these guys?
I really liked it. I really like Sauce because he speaks a lot. He does some shots, some calls, and he plays really good. He's an aggressive player, and he's really plays a lot of heroes. He's good at 1 versus 2. So I think that we got really good synergy surrounding the team. We got some problems with the team fights, but I still think that that should be fine.
So how did you decide to do things in the end? Because you are 3 Gambit members at the end of the day, with a new AD carry, with a new top laner in there. From your point of view, was it, okay, we play as Gambit here, and we have Soaz and Yellow Pete taking those roles away from Genja and Darian?
So I think that Yellow Pete and Genja are similar, like passive AD carries that are carried by their support. And as for Sauce and Darian, I would say that I think that Sauce is playing really good, and is Darian. I think they got really different play styles, so I think that there will be more unexpected Gambit than the Gambit you see every day.
So coming into this, I kind of want to ask this question because you're all All-Stars. You all got voted in as the best player in your position. From your experience, who is the single All-Star of your team?
What?
Who is the All-Star of the European All-Star team? Who is the best member of your team?
That's not a polite question, and I don't want to answer it.
I think the answer is Edward.
Edward
Gets the most kills of the team.
We should say Edward.
Okay. All right, well, there you go. Edward, the All-Star here. Alex, thank you very much for your time in the interview. Let's send it back over to the desk with Riv, Jat, and D-Man.
This weekend, we'll be answering all of your Twitter questions for us, the casters, as well as letting you ask the questions directly to the players. So keep those tweets coming. We're at LOL Esports, #Allstar. Now let's send it down to Shox, who's in the middle of 8,000 very loud, very excited League of Legends fans.
Thank you very much, Riv. It's an amazing sight standing here and watching the great stage, and all of the 8,000 fans, all the 8,000 fans in the stadium right here. Straight ahead. And 8,000 fans right here are going to see this amazing stage. And I've seen a lot of fans for World Elite and IG, but I've also seen a Fnatic shirt, someone wearing an Uncle Sam hat. So there's definitely a lot of people rooting for all of the best players that will be performing here today. It's going to be amazing. They're also waiting for the games to get underway. So let's get back to our desk.
Thank you very much, Shox. Before we get into today's first matches, we have a little something called the 2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend Opening Ceremony. So stick around because the 2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend is about to kick off. We'll be right back live from the Shanghai Grand Stadium in China right after this. 2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend live from the Shanghai Grand Stage in China. We're just moments away from the opening ceremony and the official introduction of the 5 All-Star teams competing in this weekend's tournament.
Coming into this huge weekend of gaming, what are you guys most excited to see?
I'm really just most excited to see how the All-Stars mesh together on the same team and how that affects their play styles. I mean, we heard Alex Each already talking about how it's basically Gambit Gaming with a little spice with SOAS. I think that's the most simplistic of the team's play styles.
I've been
supercharged.
Yeah.
Is I believe the phrase
supercharged
Gambit.
Gambit.
Supercharged Gambit.
I've been super interested to see what can really come from the North American team because the community themselves are saying, what can these guys do? They practice the most. You saw what Dyrus just said, and it's pretty bolstering to what they could bring.
And I know a lot of people have been saying North American team might just be like a supercharged CLG. Let Doublelift farm up and then go for it. But in listening to some of those NA interviews, a lot of people are saying Scar is the rock everyone holds on to in case they're feeding because he will always get his farm. He'll never carry, but he'll always be consistent. And to me, that's usually Dyrus' role, so we don't really know what's going to happen with that.
But, I mean, they're the LCS teams, but just think of the other teams that are there, the Korean All-Stars. You know, there's such a mix of players in that team that actually when the votes came out, it was really hard to say that guy in that position because there's so many people that missed out.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, but before we get into the matches, we've got to kick this All-Star Weekend off right. So let's send it down to the stage for the 2013 League of Legends All-Star opening ceremony.
What happens the next few days, there's no regrets.
I'm so proud to be like North American All-Star. There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to win, and it would like really prove to the world that North America doesn't suck.
We're on their home turf, so you take out the home team, then that's just good for us.
Winning's the reason why I'm here. Like, it's cool to be elected and stuff like that, but like, I want to win.
At first, I also thought win or lose, it's going to be a fun match to watch. But on second thought, I just want to like crush them all into the ground.
And ladies and gentlemen, your North American LCS All-Stars.
And there's a lot of doubt coming in for the North American scene into the scene. The world thinks that North America could be the weakest scene, but we know that North America is out with something to prove, and they've practiced harder than any other team.
And you heard Dyrus right there, that they're out to prove something. They want to crush them into the ground. It's not just a fun trip to Shanghai. They want to win.
And they're getting a pretty warm reception here, too, in China. These guys are definitely known.
And up next, we are going to have the European LCS All-Stars.
I was really happy when I was elected to All-Star team. It's just one of the best feelings when you are inspired by the crowd, when people root for you.
To get that many people to want you to play here is just an honor in itself, and then obviously being the one who actually does it, another one.
Я думаю, того, что меня уже выбрали, этого недостаточно. Надо показать свою лучшую игру на турнире и как бы победить и все.
Gentlemen, after 10 grueling weeks, these are your European LCS All-Stars.
3 parts Gambit Gaming as well. We are saying supercharged Gambit. I mean, the biggest adjustments these guys are going to have to make is playing in English instead of Russian.
Absolutely, and these guys, you know, they're all-stars. They've all been in League of Legends for many years, and these guys know exactly what is expected from them for the European scene.
And we know how strong they are, and they got pretty good chances.
So up next, it is going to be the Southeast Asian team, the All-Stars from Garena.
So I'm very excited to be in All-Stars because I get to meet and play against the best players in the world. I really want to win this tournament.
我觉得我们有信心会赢这个比赛，我们都很期待他们的表现。
I was very surprised at first when I was picked, and I want to thank all my fans.
I'm very happy my fans voted for me. Thank you guys for your support.
我们有信心可以100%获胜。
Coming into this with 3 members from the Season 2 World Championship, the Garena All-Stars.
And coming into this, a lot of people have forgotten about the Garena All-Star team, as happened with TPA before the Season 2 World Championships. The world here cannot underestimate this team again because they really are coming in maybe as favorites with the bye in the first round from last year's championship.
Absolutely, already in the semi-final. They are a top team, not to be doubted. But up next, it's going to be the Korean OGN champions, the All-Stars.
한국 국가대표로 뽑게 되었으니까 이제 우승은 꼭 하고 싶고요. 그냥 우승하러 온 것 같아요.
국가대표로서 그냥 무조건 이겨야 된다? 그냥 이런 생각이 지금 저한테 지배적인 것 같아요.
근데 일단 대회에 대한 사명감 같은 롤드컵 티켓 한 장이 더 늘어난다는 게 한국을 위해서 빛낼 수 있다는 게 일단 기분 좋고 그래서 꼭 이길 생각입니다.
The best team playing really one of the all-star of the all-star teams, Korean OGN champions.
Just for general star power, this has to be one of the most stacked teams in this event. 4 different teams represented for the Korean OGN Champions All-Stars. Some would argue they're coming from the most competitive League of Legends league in the world.
Absolutely, it just shows the depth that really the Korean scene has right now. They're really all stars, as it were. But up next, it's going to be the hometown favorites. It's the Chinese LPL All-Stars.
我会争取这次机会在世界上证明我的能力。
觉得心情非常激动吧，能被选做全明星选手，我觉得非常的荣幸。
毕竟这次比赛是在中国的主场，就是会有很多支持我们的粉丝。
我相信我们这次，一定不会让大家失望。
谢谢。
Really the powerhouses of China for the last couple years. It's going to be about them coming together to make this one work for the home crowd.
And we heard Dyrez sort of hoping, and actually there has been discussions that WE and IG don't really get on. They are intense rivals, but you know, we were out to dinner with these guys. They get on very well. They really are a team right now.
We're just going to have to wait and see. The first match of the best of threes will be China versus North America, so that's really just huge, amazing powerhouses versus what is the underdog.
Absolutely. And with all of this happening, when we find the underdog, they're all stars. These guys are going to have the top-notch play right out of the gate.
And to be fair, there is no underdog because they are all stars. They are all stars. That is a fact. The secret is in the name. You know, these guys, the North American team have been around probably the longest of anyone, and yet they're classed as the underdogs. It's crazy.
I know, and I mean, a lot of times people would say that the European scene is also incredibly strong. Every single scene will say they're the ones that have the best chance in a lot of these cases, and this whole weekend is going to be really just regions battling.